Well, flint knapping is a purposeful process of interacting with stone to shape it to a desired form for use as a tool. So flint knapping is a reduction process by which one piece of rock, and we'll call this a preform, is purposefully shaped using another tool. In this case, the most basic type of tool would be a hammerstone. This is a percussor where we would hit one rock with the other and remove flakes, and do that in a purposeful and orderly manner to shape a stone. This is what we would call a flake. This is a preform, and flint knapping, which would basically look like this, is hitting a platform, an edge of your preform with the hammerstone, and snapping off flakes in a reduction sequence, very purposeful. That is the essence of flint knapping. The oldest stone tools date back millions of years, at least 2.5 to 3 million years in age. And these proto-humans were presumed to be gatherers and scavengers, and they needed a tool that would have served as a heavy chopper. This piece of stone is a good example. There have been some flakes removed from this, but it's quite thick. It's still quite heavy. But used in the hand with a cutting edge, it could very easily crush bone to, again, expose marrow, which would have been a great source of calories, to open up the skull of an animal that was being scavenged to get at the brain matter. So, the oldest tools, we believe, were simple. They were an improved edge. They were used as a hand axe or a hand chopper to chop and or crush bone. Of the artifacts I've personally found, the oldest would be Middle Archaic in the range of cultural periods here in New York State. That would put them perhaps as old as 5,000 years of age, and that's pretty much in the middle of the range of the age of tools, stone tools that could be found in this area. So they're not terribly old, but by most people's standards, a tool that's 5,000 years old is still pretty old.
I'm going to pick up this one rock here because what this stone is here is the stone that's native to our area of central and western New York State. This is Onondaga chert. If you make an arrowhead or a knife or a scraper or a cutter, any kind of a tool that you make out of this, it's very durable. It will hold up very well. It has a very tough nature to it, but also it carries the characteristics of conchoidal fracture. This is just a blank where they would quarry this, or a quarry blank. Take this material, take a tool, it could be antler, hardwood, a hammerstone, such as you see here. This is the hammerstone, and when you hit it, such as that, causes the flake to come off. Now what's interesting about this flake is, as tough and as hard as this stone is, this produces another razor sharp edge. I can feel this catch the grooves of my fingerprints here. If I had a piece of leather, I could take this tool, this simple tool that was taken off with one strike of a hammerstone, I could take this and cut thick leather with it without any effort. So that's why these materials were so valuable to them, and the Native Americans knew what to look for as far as making tools from this material.
As time passed, prehistoric man realized that other tools could be made that yielded better results. So the Native Americans, for example, made use of deer antler billets. They would use the thick portion of a deer antler where it attaches to the skull and make a billet out of that. The material was hard enough to take off flakes, but also soft, and that had some advantages as far as the quality of flakes that could be removed. In order to further refine pieces, and as an example, we'll refer to this rather thin, finely crafted blade, you have to then use a tool called a pressure flaker. And aboriginally, Native Americans would have used an antler tine such as this to, in a very controlled manner, press off flakes, very small flakes, to further refine the blade edges and to put notches or to put stems on points such that you could then haft or attach the blade to a handle. Planning for use of stone tools can sometimes be evidenced by caching, which is creating a large number of bifaces that could be further refined later. Stone tools are weighty. You don't want to have to carry a lot of raw material with you if you're moving as a nomadic hunter. You don't want to carry a lot of those materials with you if you are seasonally transitioning from one encampment to another. And the stone tools were created and left there for use later on. I think some of that is rooted also in the relative proximity or the great distance they might have to go to get the tool stone that was necessary to make their stone tools.
What we see that I find fascinating is that the knowledge of, say, a certain time period, a certain type of point was made. So that was a communication between groups of people that they all decided they were going to make this particular type of point. So that's how we date a random term, arrowhead, projectile point. That's how we date it, as by the base shape, the bottom part of the tool. If it has notches, or if it has a stem, or if it's just rounded on the bottom, this dates to different time periods, which was communicated amongst all the peoples living at that time to make that style point. It was the fashion of the time, is what I like to call it.